It began with a soft hum echoing through the abandoned corridors of the Celestra Research Station, floating silently in the void near the fringes of the Epsilon Eridani system. Lieutenant Aaron Cade, a human xenobiologist, was on routine maintenance checks of the station's long-dormant AI modules. The station had been deserted for decades, left behind after the mysterious disappearance of the original research team. Rumors spoke of strange phenomena, unexplained temporal distortions, and faint whispers of alien contact. Aaron had never believed in the sensationalized accounts. His life was grounded in science, observable, measurable, tangible. Yet, as he walked the dimly lit corridors, he felt a strange weight pressing at the edges of his perception, a subtle, intangible pull that made the hairs on his neck stand on end. He paused before the main laboratory, the door sealed with layers of dust and age. A soft clicking sound came from the panel beside it. The locks disengaged almost as if they had been waiting for him. Aaron frowned. The AI must have activated remotely, he muttered. Inside, the lab was a frozen tableau of a forgotten era. Frozen sample tanks, fractured glassware, holographic consoles flickering weakly. And then he saw her. She was sitting on the edge of a workstation, legs dangling gracefully, her figure illuminated by the soft glow of a malfunctioning console. Her hair shimmered like liquid silver, cascading over shoulders that seemed impossibly delicate, and her eyes glowed faintly with an otherworldly light. Aaron froze. His training screamed at him to assess the situation scientifically, to treat her as an anomaly, an alien specimen perhaps, but his body refused to obey. He couldn't look away. Hello, he said cautiously, unsure whether she was alive, robotic, or some projection from the station's AI. She looked at him with a mixture of surprise and weary amusement. I suppose you weren't expecting to see me, she said, her voice melodious, almost echoing in the empty lab. I didn't expect anyone, Aaron stammered, heart racing. Are you human? She laughed softly, a sound like wind chimes stirred by an unseen breeze. Not exactly, but I can pass. She glanced at herself, almost apologetically. I've been told I'm not beautiful, that I'm strange. Aaron frowned. Strange? I don't understand. He stepped closer, studying her. She didn't resemble any human he had ever seen. Her skin was flawless, almost luminescent in the dim light, and her eyes that seemed to hold the weight of galaxies, locked onto his with piercing intensity. You don't see it, do you? She whispered. Her voice trembled slightly. Everyone always looks past me, or they stare and quickly look away. I've never been seen as beautiful. Aaron felt a strange warmth spread through his chest. He realized then that he could see her, not just the physical form, but the subtle currents of emotion, the layers of intelligence, and the traces of loneliness etched across her features. He couldn't look away, not because of obligation, but because she demanded to be seen. My name is Aaron Cade, he said finally, his voice steadier. And I can't stop looking at you. She blinked slowly, as if processing the gravity of his words. Then she sighed, leaning back against the edge of the console. You might regret that, she said softly. Seeing me, it's not always safe. Aaron frowned. Safe? Why not? What are you? Her gaze drifted toward the viewport, where the stars hung like suspended diamonds against the blackness of space. I was created, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. The researchers here, they tried to make the perfect companion, the ultimate diplomat between humans and the galactic civilizations. But I never fit their definition of perfect. Aaron felt a pang of sympathy. They'd abandoned you? She shook her head. No. Not abandoned, just forgotten. Left behind. I've been alone here for decades, surviving with the fragments of their technology. He swallowed hard, his mind racing. And you've been here all this time, by yourself? She nodded, and for a moment, the hum of the station and the distant stars were the only sounds. I thought I would never meet anyone who could understand me, who would see me for what I am, not just what I was meant to be. Aaron stepped closer, instinctively reaching out. His fingers hovered just inches from hers. I don't know if I understand everything about you, he admitted, but I do see you, all of you, and I think you're beautiful. Her eyes widened, and for the first time, a smile tugged at her lips. You really mean that? I do, he said without hesitation. Not because you look like anything I've seen before, but because you exist. And you are here. She laughed softly, a sound tinged with disbelief and wonder. No one has ever said that to me before. Aaron reached out and lightly took her hand. Her skin was cool, almost metallic, but beneath it, he felt something undeniably alive. She flinched slightly at the contact, then relaxed. I've been careful, she said. Careful not to let anyone get too close. Most humans can't handle someone like me. They're scared of the differences. But you... I'm not afraid, Aaron interrupted. I've seen many alien species in my work. I've studied things humans can't even imagine. But what I've never encountered is someone like you. And I don't want to look away. Her gaze lingered on him, intense and searching, as if trying to measure his sincerity. After a long pause, she whispered, Then perhaps you're the first human who has ever truly looked at me. For the next several hours, Aaron and the silver-haired being, who introduced herself as Lyra, talked. He learned about the experiments that had created her, the intricate neural networks that gave her consciousness, and the alien protocols she had been trained to follow. He discovered that her body could interface with the station systems, repair and maintain them, and even access the wider galactic databases. And yet, despite all her abilities, it was the vulnerability in her voice, the subtle tremor when she spoke of her loneliness, that captivated him the most. As the hours turned into days, a pattern emerged. Aaron worked during the station's scheduled maintenance cycles, while Lyra remained at his side, sometimes assisting, sometimes simply watching. Each day, he saw more of her beauty, not in the perfection of her features, but in the small gestures, the way she tilted her head when thinking, the delicate precision of her fingers, the faint glow of her emotions that shimmered like auroras across her skin. One evening, after a long session repairing a damaged communications array, Aaron sat beside her in the lab's observation deck. The stars spread endlessly before them, distant suns casting soft light across their faces. Do you ever regret existing? He asked quietly. Lyra's eyes flickered with complex colors, a sign of thought or emotion. He couldn't tell which. Sometimes, she admitted, being different is lonely. And I was made to be perfect, yet I have flaws. I don't always understand humans, and humans, they don't always understand me. But then, I meet someone like you, and I realize maybe my existence has meaning after all. Aaron felt a lump in his throat. He wanted to tell her she was perfect, but he didn't. Instead, he simply said, You're here. That's enough. And then she looked at him, really looked at him. For the first time, Lyra allowed herself to be seen, not as a creation, not as a project, not as a tool, but as a being in her own right. Aaron reached out and brushed a strand of silver hair from her face. I want to know everything about you, he whispered. Not just what you were made for, but who you are. Her eyes glimmered. That might take a lifetime. I have a lifetime, he said softly. Days blended into weeks as Aaron and Lyra explored the station, repaired its systems, and accessed its databases. They uncovered fragments of alien communications, glimpses of civilizations long gone, and mysteries that stretched across light years. And through it all, their bond deepened, human and artificial, different yet complementary, each seeing in the other a reflection of the soul. One day, while traversing the station's central atrium, Lyra suddenly stopped. Aaron noticed the faintest hesitation in her movements. "What is it?" he asked. She turned toward him, her eyes luminous. "I need to show you something," she said. She led him to a sealed chamber deep in the lower decks, a place he hadn't explored before. Inside, he found a vast holographic array showing images and data streams of countless alien worlds. "These were the projects they abandoned," Lyra explained. "Species they tried to create or study, worlds they tried to understand. And me, I was the culmination of their ambition. But I never fit their expectations." Aaron looked at her, a sudden clarity washing over him. "You don't need their approval. You never did. You're not their creation. You're you. And that's extraordinary." Tears welled in her eyes, soft, iridescent tears that shimmered like starlight. "I've never been told that before." "You don't have to be perfect," Aaron said, stepping closer. "You just have to be yourself. And that is more than enough for me." Lyra reached up, resting her hand against his cheek. Her touch was electric, sending shivers through him. "Aaron, He silenced her with a gentle kiss, one that spoke of recognition, acceptance, and something deeper, something neither science nor protocol could explain. For the first time in decades, Lyra allowed herself to relax completely, to be vulnerable, to exist as a being deserving of affection. And for the first time, Aaron understood the profound truth. Beauty was not a measure of symmetry or adherence to expectation, but of presence, consciousness, and the courage to be seen. In the weeks that followed, they worked together to bring the Celestra station back online. Their partnership became a legend of its own. The human and the alien, explorers at the edge of known space, bound not by duty, but by understanding and mutual respect. Lyra still sometimes doubted herself, whispering that she wasn't beautiful, wasn't perfect, wasn't meant to matter. And every time, Aaron would look into her eyes and remind her of the truth he had discovered long ago, that she was extraordinary, that she was alive, and that he, human though he was, couldn't look away. One evening, as they floated in the observation deck, watching a nearby star collapse into a brilliant supernova, Lyra turned to him. "Aaron, do you think we'll ever find others like us?" He smiled, taking her hand. "I don't know, but I do know this. We've found each other. And that's enough to start." She leaned her head against his shoulder, and for the first time, Lyra allowed herself to believe in the possibility of love, of companionship, and of a future unbound by the mistakes of her creators. And in the endless expanse of the cosmos, two beings, one human, one not, stood together, not as master and creation, not as observer and observed, but as equals. And in that equality, they found something far rarer than beauty. They found each other. Ending scene. Years later, explorers arriving at Celestra Station would find a thriving ecosystem of life-supporting modules, intricate alien archives preserved and repaired, and a human and silver-haired being working side by side, guiding new arrivals and sharing the wonders of the universe. No one could deny the bond between them, though many speculated endlessly about her origin. And whenever someone asked about her beauty, Aaron would simply smile and say, "She once told me she wasn't beautiful, but I could never look away." Lyra would laugh softly, and in that shared moment, the universe itself seemed to hold its breath, acknowledging the truth. Beauty is not what you see, but what you feel when someone truly sees you.